A discussion of biofuels would not be complete if we didn't talk about refuse, things that we don't want. One of them is a clear, obvious one, which is wet refuse, human waste. We have elaborate systems in place to collect it. Why don't we use it as an energy source? Well, a couple of the reasons might be fairly obvious. It's disgusting. All right, it's filled with bacteria, but most importantly, it's wet, right? Our whole waste systems work on taking this all in water. And these go to waste treatment plants, which then have bacteria which break this down into some type of water that hopefully can be reused or put back into the ecosystem, and a type of sludge in the end. That sludge you could dry, maybe it has enough carbon content to burn. But if it has any useful carbon content, perhaps just using it as fill or as fertilizer might be better. The whole process of taking that and then saying, hey, let's package it into pellets that we can go stick in wood-burning stoves, yeah, forget about it. However, the other stuff we throw away, the dry refuse, the garbage. Americans are particularly good at making garbage. It's about 1 kilogram per person per day. What about that stuff? Can we pick all that up, which we're paying people to do anyway, and instead of taking it to a landfill, can you take it to an incinerator, burn it, and then use that energy to do what we normally do with a heat source? You boil water, turn it into steam, steam turns a turbine, turbine turns a generator, and you got electricity. Or if you live in a dense city, you just take the steam and it's wintertime and you run it through buildings and use that to warm up the buildings. Why not just incinerate all of our garbage? Wouldn't that be a great energy source? Well, it turns out that we do get about 0.5% of our energy in the United States from that. Half of a quad comes from burning municipal waste incineration. And for some time, this was a growing field. Wow, we're picking up the garbage anyway, let's get energy out of it. Then people started noticing that the things people put in garbage are probably not some of the best things you want to burn. Batteries, a variety of heavy metals, were all going into the air, creating air pollution. And of course, once it creates air pollution, that then becomes a problem for the rest of us. So of course the government steps in and says, hey, Clean Air Act, right? The stuff coming out of your smokestacks, you can't have this content, you can't put these things in, you can't have these carcinogens, we've got to cut down on it. Those regulations cause many plants to close and many others to put on relatively expensive pollution controls. In fact, the expense of converting municipal solid waste into energy is at a point today where no plants have been built since 1995. That's the last 20 years. No one has taken that economic equation and said, yeah, this is what we should do with our waste. Part of the reason for that is there are much better things to do with the waste than just burn it. Those places that needed to honor the Clean Air Act and not shut down did so predominantly by having sorting systems. It's very hard to convince the consumers that you don't throw everything into one garbage can. I've been in Japan. People there do it much, much better. You have little different colored bags for the different sortable commodities. It makes the recycling much easier. And certainly in the US, there are still many bins that sort recyclings. And that's great. But if you're going to end up burning it all, you can't just trust that everyone put the right thing in the right bin. So you still need some process to sort it. This type of sorting is, of course, best done with the human mind. You can tell what is a can and what's paper that can be used and what's cardboard and what's plastic. There are machines that can do it. They're not infallible, and they're also expensive. If you do all the sorting, then you can end up with something in the end that, yeah, it's pretty clean. You can burn it without the pollution problems. But you know what? If I've done all the sorting and I've already taken out the predominant combustible material in our trash, which is paper and packaging and cardboard, and I've taken that out already, why burn it? Why not recycle it? Turn it into future paper products. There's a market for it. The people will pay, companies will pay for giant bales of high quality paper. They'll pay a bit less for giant bales of cardboard. This stuff, instead of trees, can go right back into making more paper products. If you sort out the aluminum, that's really cost efficient. Making a can from an old can takes about 5% of the energy that it would take to make a can from scratch from aluminum ore. Plastics. If you're going to sort out the plastics, sure, you can burn plastics, but instead, let's make new plastics out of them. Again, there's an energy savings. So if you do the sorting right, you've got the recyclable paper, you've got the recyclable plastics, and you've got the recyclable metals. And what's left is, I don't know, the old spaghetti noodles and the orange peels. That stuff's not the best stuff to burn anyway because it's wet. You first have to spend a lot of energy to make it dry, to dry off the water, and then you can finally burn it. If you get down to that level of the wet refuse, burying it in a landfill is actually quite easy. It will rot and decay away and just give you soil. In the US, there are 86 operating municipal solid waste incinerators. These all comply with the federal air standards and the quality standards. Even so, in some of these cities and towns, you can still smell them. Maybe it's not as unpleasant as smelling the wet refuse collection facility, but it is still a noticeable problem, and one where most municipalities, even if the economics were such that, oh yeah, look, we can make some money off this, but do you really want a smelly incinerator in the middle of your city? Probably not. So you build it way out on the edge of your city. Of course, then you have a lot more transportation costs to get everything out to it. Sort the waste. Recycle the waste. What's left? Probably just perfectly fine to bury in the dirt. When you're sorting trash, you could use giant mechanical machines. These are expensive, and they're not nearly as good as using people. Let's go to a trash sorting station here at the University of Illinois and see how they do it. Here we are at the waste transfer station at the University of Illinois with my friend and the director of this facility, Tracy Osby.
Okay, here at the waste transfer station, we're standing at South Bay, and this is where the process starts for our sorting. We have the skitzer that come in, actually push the trash and the recycle items onto the in-feed belt, and from the in-feed belt it goes up the line through the sorting belt.
So so all of the trash of the university gets dumped here on your doorstep, correct?
Pretty much, 95% of it.
95% of the trash in the university. But then I noticed like there's like this desk. I mean, there's some things you just pull out because they can be recycled in a different manner.
Yes, such as the copper that you see that's right there to your left there.
Okay.
A lot of the wooden tools, such as we have a snow shovel, an actual fence, rake. We have those items that we pull out of here. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on campus, there's also things that are marked recycling, like cans here and bottles here. Does that just get dumped in here too?
Containers, yep, containers are actually emptied in here as well. What happens inside those containers, those items are actually, they're actually placed in a blue recycle bag, and I don't see any.
I see a couple of blues.
This one right here, here's one right here. You see that blue recycle bag there? That bag there lets us know automatic that that's actually recycled material that's inside of that bag. Okay. So that bag there is what's placed inside, like the pop bottle in a can container. It's placed inside, so we know exactly that's recycled.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Off the top, that's recycled.
So I shouldn't feel too bad if I take my aluminum can and just throw it in any trash bin, because chances are it's going to come here and get pulled out anyway.
Yes, it will come here and probably get pulled out anyway, but we have special bins for those that we would like for everyone to place it, and to recycle in bulk makes it easier.
That's right. To make his job and the people working for him easier, put your cans and bottles in the proper containers.
Yes, makes it easier.
All right, so here we are. The trash comes up through this line. Tell me what happens to it next.
This is actually the sorting line, and we have our staff, the DSC staff, which is Developmental Service Center. They would actually go through and sort out all of the recyclable items, such as the paper, the cardboard, the aluminum can, and the plastics.
Okay.
We will get those items sorted out here, and they will drop down in the chutes that are pretty much underneath us.
So
Okay.
I see some. There's a plastic bottle. Okay, so that goes in the plastic bin,
Yes.
and there's another plastic. So this guy's doing plastic. Someone else picks out the cans. Is that how it works?
Well, you also have plastic that's being done on that side over there, and he's actually doing aluminum cans as well.
And he's doing cans there.
Yeah,
I
the
see.
first two guys at the front here, they're picking out your cardboard, and they're getting whatever plastics they can as well.
Okay, so down here you can see, we're getting the cardboard, we're getting the paper.
Yes.
Oh yeah, man, there's lots of paper in there, right?
Yeah.
So that's all going to get picked out and thrown in the right bin too.
Right. The paper get picked out as it goes down that way, but right now he's grabbing more of the cardboard, which is going underneath the bottom here.
Now I see some glass going through. What do you guys do with glass?
Glass is not a high commodity item that we recycle here on the campus.
Okay.
We don't get a lot of glass on this campus. The most glass we get is pretty much during possibly tailgating season.
Right.
And,
Glass bottles, right?
Right, a lot of glass and beer bottles and things of that nature, but for the most part, we don't get a lot of glass on this campus. All the vending machines and things of that nature is pretty much plastic bottles.
Right.
Yeah.
And also the economics of glass, I don't really think that you get any benefit from recycling it, right? It just, you can make it out of sand just as easily as gas.
It's not much of a lot of benefit to it, but at the same time, it would divert it from going to the landfill. And that's the whole program, is to divert everything from going to the landfill as much as we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing is that the stuff that has already been sorted is now getting compacted, because it's all about the economics and transportation. And if you can transport this stuff when it's all compressed, you've got less transport costs, right?
Exactly. What you're seeing here pretty much are these clear liners that's down here within this bay, this is the north bay. These items are coming from dining or housing. They pre-sort. So at their facility, what they have is they have a container for cardboard, and they have actual containers for their plastic, aluminum cans, and paper.
Okay.
So we pick those up on an actual routine schedule that we pick up from dining services, so to speak.
So this is almost all just the food waste, trash stuff that you can't recycle anyway.
What's coming out of the compactor? This is pretty much what's coming through.
Okay.
All the plastic bottles and aluminum cans that we pick up from housing areas and all the housing facilities, they're already pre-sorted. They're pre-sorted in 90-gallon totes. So we pick those items up, and those items are brought here to the waste transfer station and emptied into the South Bay, and where it goes through the sorting line. But we don't want to send food material, food products through the actual sorting line.
Makes sense. Okay. So the line's above us, and the stuff falls through here. And I see this is the paper. Are there different kinds of paper that you worry about?
Well, no, but the paper is pretty much okay with us, except for probably the lamination of paper or things of that nature. Here we have the two bays. With the two bays, at the paper that falls out between the two bays, the sorting line actually pulls everything that comes down to this portion. And that goes back to on this side over here, we have the plastic bottles, which the perforator here is up top. This is the yellow blue machine. The perforator actually punch holes through the plastic bottles that allow the liquid to drain. So when it's drained out and it runs through the conveyor belt for the baler, it compacts it tighter with less fluids going through it. Just east of that, you have the container for the aluminum cans, and the cans fill up pretty fast as well, but there's no reason to actually perforate the cans. Okay. So the cans are placed in the container as well.
And then I see we have got lots and lots of cardboard.
Cardboard, hot commodity. Cardboard comes through quite a bit. You get a lot of cardboard all the time.
Okay.
property. It has its peak seasons where you get a lot of cardboard at times, and then sometimes you don't get a lot of cardboard. And the peak season determines on the price of the cardboard. Holiday season, the price of cardboard goes down pretty much.
Because everyone has it.
Everyone
bought a box, Christmas present.
It's plentiful.
Right.
It's a lot of cardboard, you know.
Okay.
So that's what happens with the cardboard.
All right, so now you take the stuff that's sorted, and you take your nice skidster trucks,
Sure.
and you push it into this pit over here. So, so it looks like you're ready to bale some paper next, right?
Yes, what the guys are doing right now, they're actually going through this paper to clean out all the items that shouldn't be here. I mean, such as right here, you can see the plastic that's
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
You see, my guys would normally pull this plastic out of here, provided they can see it, so they have to kind of flip the paper,
Okay.
you know, using the skidster machine.
Uh-huh.
So what happens here, they're gonna go through this paper and pull out everything that shouldn't be here, such as aluminum cans, plastic bottles, possibly cardboard,
Right.
maybe even glass.
Right, sort of like a last chance sorting, right?
Correct.
And then the paper falls into this machine, and then this machine does the compression magic,
Yep.
right?
But actually, the skidster are actually pushing inside of this pit, the conveyor pit.
Okay.
And from this conveyor pit, which is takes it on the belt and takes it straight up to the baler. And once it goes through the baler there, the baler will take it and compress it to the actual the pounds that it should be. Pretty much the paper is weighing between the average of 12 to 1,400 pounds per bale.
12 to 1,400 pounds per bale.
Per bale. That's one
Wow.
bale.
Wow.
Pretty heavy.
Yeah, 500 kilograms.
Yeah. Hey, I couldn't move it.
Okay, so these are the bales. Wow.
Yeah.
This
Here
is the like 1,200, 1,400 pounds, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
We couldn't move it. You and I couldn't move
No, no
it.
way.
Yeah, it's somewhere between 12 to 1,400 pounds. But this is the paper bales that we have, and to load a truckload of paper bales, you're looking probably maybe 33 to 34 bales of paper.
And how much do you get for that?
Well, that's going to be based on the price. Right now, I'm going to say the paper is actually right at $120 per ton, I'm going to say.
$120 a ton.
And
okay.
a truckload that goes out is about 40,000 pounds.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
20 tons.
Yeah, so that's about 20. That's like the minimum.
$2,500, $3,000.
That's the minimum load, you know.
Okay.
And of course, the quality of the paper determines a lot, you know. The less newsprint inside the papers mean the higher dollar that you get for the
Right.
paper.
So you want this kind of stuff, right? This is someone's.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, this is applied physics letters. All right.
Pamphlets.
Right. And cardboard barrels.
Yep. Here you
Bales.
have the cardboard bales. Cardboard is right now is roughly going for probably about I'm gonna say about $90 per ton.
Okay.
And it's pretty
so
much
less than the paper, right?
less than the paper.
Right,
But
okay.
actually the same weight as the paper.
Okay.
So this is still $1,200 to $1,400. 12 to 1,400
100 pounds.
There we
per
go.
barrel.
There we go.
Wow.
Per bale. That's what you have, and it takes the
Yeah,
same
and
amount.
how many bales of paper do you think you get per day, or how many cardboard per day? Do you have an idea?
It would vary depending
Okay.
on what's taking place on the campus. At times the campus is super busy,
Right.
and at times the campus is not super busy. Right about now, on average, the guys are probably doing about 6 bales of cardboard per day, if not more.
Per day.
Per
Wow.
day, if not more.
Okay.
Right now for paper could be about the same, between 6. Yeah, 4 to
And
6.
all this thought that we are in some paperless university, right? And everything's electronic. Yeah, sure.
Well, we're trying. Again, I'll tell you what. Back when I first started here over in December of 2009,
Yeah.
we did quite a bit more paper per day.
So maybe the paperless campus is actually working. Your paper is going down.
I can guarantee you it's working.
Working.
Yeah,
That's good.
paper's actually going down. We don't get as much paper as we used to. When I first started here, December 2009, paper bales, you're talking probably 15, 16 paper bales per day.
Wow. And now we're down to 5 or 6.
Yeah, between
Okay.
4 and 6 per day. that
Well,
we would get.
that's really good.
Yeah, so it's actually working.
Wow.
But at times it's kind of hard to tell because you get a professor who's been here for 30 years and he or she is moving out.
I've been here for 30 years.
And then they decide to clean out their attic and they have all these files here. And they have to sort through the files in the department before they can actually send them to me.
all those papers sitting in my office will eventually end up
Yes,
in
yes.
one of these bales.
Yes, yes,
Ah,
yes.
okay. All right. So so this is the real money, right? The aluminum cans.
Yeah, this is the kind you really watch.
Yeah. 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 So how much does a bale of aluminum cans weigh, and how much does it cost?
Aluminum cans, along with plastic bottles, their bales are between 600 to 800 pounds.
Okay.
Because they're lighter in weight outside of the paper and the cardboard.
Got
okay?
it. Got it.
Right now, the aluminum cans are actually selling for roughly around 76 cents per pound.
So just some quick math. That's $1,500 a ton. I mean, that's 10 times cardboard
Yes, and paper.
and paper.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
10
yes,
times
it is.
paper,
Yeah.
20 times cardboard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Aluminum cans.
Yeah.
Wow. There's a lot of them. Huh.
So, yep, this is basically used as a storage trailer to actually store them until we actually sell. We have not sold any for, it's been a while since I sold aluminum.
Because you wait for the price to go up,
That's right.
right?
You want to rise up.
Yeah.
We got to look out for the best interest of the university.
Best interest of the university. How many how many bales of cans do you get?
Well, cans, we would have to look at the figures as far as those being collected and sold, so
Right.
to speak. Right now, with me just collecting them,
Yeah.
I haven't sold any in quite some time.
Right.
So therefore, I can't give you an exact number on the cans as of right now.
Okay.
It's easy to calculate the figures once you have actually collected the items
And
then you sell
them, and you
Then
see when
can
the
actually
last time you sold
But
them
right
was,
now, I
yeah.
haven't sold any in quite a while.
Got
so
it.
we're actually sitting
Got
and
it.
waiting on the price to
Got
get
it.
a little bit higher, you know?
Yeah, we
that's
got
what we're
like
looking for.
can broker guy here. Okay. All right. So the plastic has gone from something that used to be, oh wow, plastic, we can recycle it. Now this is the cheapest, right? You get less money from this than you do from the paper or the cardboard, right?
Exactly. Although we do get quite a bit of it. We recycle a lot of the plastic that comes through here, and right now we kind of recycle it. I have two choices to recycle this through resource management, which is out of Plainfield, Illinois, or we can actually recycle through Midwest Fiber, which is out of Bloomington, Illinois.
So you have some competition of who you can sell it to.
Yes.
Okay.
We have competition for the paper, the cardboard as well.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and aluminum cans is about the same. There's no competition there.
No competition.
Yeah, the competition for aluminum cans is pretty much the same.
Okay.
Coca-Cola and Anheuser-Busch.
Okay. The Borg Collective of Cans.
This is my overflow, which is outside here.
Yeah, well, it's not going to rust.
Yeah, well, hey. And even though it's aluminum cans that's sitting out here and it's only 600 to 800 pounds, we can't move this one either.
No, you need a machine.
I wouldn't try.
No.
Yeah, these are trash trailers, and we fill at least one of these per day. During move in and move out, we fill 2 of these per day, and with a few open pans. But we fill at least 1 trailer per day, and this is a trash trailer. Right now, it goes over to Brickyard Landfill, which is in Danville, Illinois, because those are the people who have the contract now for it.
Okay.
So we contract that service out to actually Allied Waste right now, which is Republic Waste, same company, so to speak. But they subcontract it out to the people who haul the trailers, which is KRD Trucking. So they haul the trailers over to Brickyard Landfill, which is in Danville, Illinois.
So now one trailer like this, trash needs to be compacted because otherwise you're taking too many trucks. So they fill this up to like the 22 tons or something, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We don't exceed the 80,000 pounds. We can't exceed the 80.
Right.
So that's about where we stand with those.
Okay. And now, unlike the aluminum and the plastic and the cardboard and the paper, which you get money for, imagine you have to pay money to the landfill to take that.
Correct.
What's the economics of that? How much do they charge you for a trailer full?
Right now, you're looking at pretty much about $30 per ton.
$30 per ton to have them bury it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So on the economic question, you're bringing in a lot of things that you then sell. You have to obviously pay. It's a tremendous service. But how does it come out in the end of the day? Is this a cash revenue enterprise?
It's more of a benefit to the waste transfer station to help offset the budget for here.
Okay.
So it's not an actual profit that we would make, because you have to keep in mind with the upkeep and the maintenance of the trucks and stuff that we have.
Sure.
The fuel costs.
Right. And the army of people to actually go pick up all the trash from the whole campus of 45,000 people and bring it here, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you have to look at the sorting process that we go through too, you know.
Sure.
So
And the capital equipment.
right, and the maintenance and the upkeep of the equipment. Yeah,
yeah.
and it's at times when the maintenance can get real tense at sometimes. It's
Sure.
tight spaces to work in over here as well.
That's right,
So.
right. But clearly doing all this is so much more cost efficient and environmentally efficient than just burying it all.
Key word, yes, divert it from going to the landfill.
Exactly. So there go my 30 years worth of files, huh?
Yes, your 30 years worth of files that you chose to hold on to. Now we have them here at the waste transfer station. As you can see, the skisser is actually pushing the items onto the conveyor belt here in the pit. And after they've sorted through to make sure it wasn't any aluminum cans and plastic bottles in there. And this is actually going to be sorted up through the line. As it goes through the line, he's still sorting, as you can see.
Yeah,
He
just
has a
in
pickup
case.
stick, just in case anything got missed. And as it goes up through the inside here, it'll drop down in the baler that's up top here. And as it drops in that baler, the baler drops it down to the bottom, and that's where it's compressed.
Okay. So this machine is, it crushes it, it compacts everything, and then it actually bales it and puts it in your final form, ready for delivery.
And in the process of baling, as it comes out, it put these straps around it.
Okay.
It straps it up to hold it in place. That's what keeps it tight. Without the straps, it's no bale.
Everything falls apart.
It'll fall right apart as soon as it come out of there. So,
Neat,
yeah.
neat.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome machines.
Okay,
Well
excellent
done.
machine.
Right. Wow, so here comes one of the bales of paper.
Yep, this is your bale that's gonna come out here.
All right. The ram is pushing it.
Ram is pushing it out, and as it comes out, you're gonna see the strap. The strap
Right,
so
right,
fast,
because
you know?
if you don't put a strap on it, it's all going to fall apart.
It'll fall right apart. It is more like
Whoa, there it goes. There it goes.
Oh, yeah. This is our finished product.
Yeah, yeah.
One more. So here's your belt.
There we go.
All set and ready to go. You feel
Right.
how tight this is?
Yeah.
Coming out of there?
Yeah,
It's a pretty tight belt.
30
This is what holds-
years of files. That's
Yeah.
where they end up.
Right here.
When you get all that trash, instead of taking it to the landfill, could you burn it instead? Could you do this for like municipal solid waste? No.
No.
Tell me why.
I think that's gonna damage our air. That's gonna be pollution.
Okay. So
You don't
even
want to
though
breathe that.
So even though you could get energy content out of burning what's left over that you don't recycle, it's just not worth it in terms of the air quality and the environmental regulations you'd have to do to burn it cleanly.
Right. I don't want to say you can't burn it, so to speak, but it's going to be a process and procedures that you would have to follow to actually be able to burn it. Example, the plastics. Do you know that the plastics that we recycle here?
Oh, you don't want to burn those.
You can burn those.
Yeah, I know.
And they burn them and they use it for fuel.
Right.
So they have a machine that ISTC is kind of working on to actually get that in place, but they can actually burn that for fuel.
Right.
So, but it's a process you have to follow. Those processes I'm not familiar with at this time, but we are looking into that. I'm working with ISTC on a few things. Okay.
Because clearly the best burnable stuff is the paper, but you get much more money from recycling it than you ever would from the energy you would save or create by actually burning it.
Yeah.
And all the wet waste and the food garbage, the energy content for burning that's probably not much because you got to dry it all first, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
wet.
Oh yeah. It's a process. I'm not familiar with the entire process, but it's a process for it.
That's what you need to know about recycling products at the waste transfer station.
Here at the University of Illinois.
There we go.